Hello and welcome to another episode from the Real Talk and Revenue podcast. We have myself, Francesca, the accountant, and we have Jordan, the therapist, and we bring real powerful conversations around building revenue, building confidence, how the mindset works, all different discussions around to help others in business and in their personal life. So listen in, let us know what you think, ask questions along the way, and we'll be sure to answer them. Enjoy. I'm loving that we had our first review on, was it a Spotify or?
It was on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, that's
I'm not checking Spotify actually, the reviews, but we don't get notified.
Mm-mm.
That's the problem. You can't reply to reviews either. It's actually not possible.
I know.
Which is a bit annoying because I want it to be like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, if anyone's listening now, please give us a review. I want to say thank you to Nicola for doing the review.
Yeah.
And we will do shout outs of who's done it for us.
I know. We also got trolled.
Oh, I don't like we did. And I knew.
I looked at it and I was like, oh, and then I was like,
No.
I just found it funny.
It was on YouTube, yes. So I forwarded the email because I get notified of YouTube. Because it's on, so if you want to watch YouTube.
I just saw in the thing, in capitals, people are bastards. And I was like, what the hell? And I clicked on it and I was like,
Yeah, troll. I've been trolled before, so I'm kind of used to it. And I'm not saying you loved it, but you obviously haven't had it before, and it's probably a bit weird.
But I just thought, oh.
So basically, what we're saying here is if you want to put yourselves out there, you are going to get a stupid comment. I've had loads.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean you're not capable or anything like that. But basically what they said was, I won't buy water.
It was like, there's a really mean part to the start. It was like, I think I have such a low opinion of these girls. I wouldn't buy a bottle of water from them if it was on fire.
And they watched, probably not even the video. They probably didn't even watch it.
Well, one of my friends said it could be a bot.
Why would bots do that then?
I don't know. I guess there's people that program bots to troll people. I don't know why.
Yeah, because it's
people
not
do lead miserable lives.
It wasn't a proper profile. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
But we want the reviews. I've had inboxes saying how good we are, but I would love someone to write it on our Spotify, Apple, YouTube if you watch us. Because another lady, Gina, she said, "What can I see you when you're doing it?" I was like, "Oh, you'll have to find us on YouTube because it's under Future Cloud."
Yeah.
So she
if you
like,
search Real Talk and Revenue, though, it comes up.
It does.
The folder comes up.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because it's obviously that in the name.
Yeah.
I'm getting more traction on Instagram. I've had a few reach out about sponsoring.
That's good.
That's really good because they obviously this is through LinkedIn, but obviously I've got good reach on there. I create good video content. So if you are interested, please reach out. Yeah, it's all exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
But it's I just enjoy doing it. I think if you can find something you enjoy as part of your strategy of business, please do it. I've noticed, and I'm not saying it's because I've done it, but on LinkedIn, a few people have gone, I'm going to set up a podcast now, and I do think that's going to be part of your sales funnel as such.
I think it's just nice for the know, like, and trust factor, for people to be able to listen to you, see you, and then know if you're like their person or not. Like to buy from, because we do like to buy from people that we like and trust.
Exactly that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So. And I'm just like really happy with that. I just feel a bit. You know what? I'm doing some nerve-wracking.
Shock
horror. No. So training. I'm going to go over a few. Just talk about me for a minute. I love talking about me. No, I don't. No. Training wise, I've had to train on my own a lot because although I am doing a solo pro later this year, Steve's injured, doing his own thing. I'm going out of my comfort zone because I'm going heavier on weights, my running, changing my running, fitting it in, dreading the day ahead.
Really?
Oh yeah, if I know that I've got a hard session coming up, like.
Oh yeah, because I suppose it's still like intense high rock stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know what you do? If you do it long enough, you almost stop yourself from thinking about it.
Yeah.
And you just kind of do it as a habit, and you kind of go, that's...
You get used to it, and then you will probably start to enjoy it. But actually, I don't know about you, because there's the pressure of the competing and... Yeah.
It's really... I love it. I'm never going to stop doing it unless I'm forced to, obviously. And I would 100% recommend people do some sort of exercise.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stick to it, because at first you're going to go, I don't like the running.
It's hard.
It's really hard. But honestly, the rewards, it's helped me so much in all aspects.
Yeah. I feel like exercise just gives you more capacity for the day.
Yeah, it does.
Like you talk about like an empty cup, it fills your cup back up, so you've got more to give throughout the day.
Yeah.
I think it just increases your resilience.
It does. So true, isn't it?
Yeah.
But me and Steve went away at the weekend to Harrogate. Harrogate, yeah. Harrogate.
I don't know.
Right.
It's really nice, isn't it?
Oh my God, stunning. We got gifted an Airbnb.
That's so cool.
So cool. The reason why we did was because of Steve's presence. Well, I say Steve's, it is ours, but Steve's like the creator behind it. High Rocks Workouts. If you're not following Instagram.
Went on a podcast.
Went on a podcast. Yeah, really, really good. So the guy that, it's his Airbnb, says, come stay the night before, we'll do the podcast in the morning, blah, blah, blah. Because obviously it's 2 hours. So we did, and we had lovely food, went out. It was just a really nice weekend.
Yeah.
The podcast, so it wasn't comfortable for me. I realised that Steve was quite chilled and calm.
As always.
As always. Are you nervous? No? I'm like, oh my God, I'll go through the roof here.
Why though?
That's just how my body copes somehow. I don't know what it is. I've done all the techniques you could think of, but I perform better, I think, when I'm like that. How do I switch it off?
It's not about necessarily switching off, it's about understanding like what process your brain and body is going through beforehand. Like, are you catastrophizing? Are you trying to plan for what you'll say? And
nope.
Well, what's happening then?
I don't know, because this one's a classic example, is it wasn't just about me. So it was it should be a chilled easy. No idea. Ever so odd. But then as soon as I sat there, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The adrenaline's there. I'm like, oh.
Was it the uncertainty? Was it like, I don't know what the setup's like, I don't know where it is, like how long it's going to take us to get there? Was it that sort of a...
Yeah, it must be. I always have a bit of adrenaline no matter what I do. Some are calmer than others.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that as a bad thing as such, but it was still uncomfortable adrenaline vibes. Which I probably had when we first did this for the first week. Yeah. After that, I'm never worried about recording on here.
Yeah, I never have really.
Never have, not even the first week?
No, I don't think so, because I just thought we're just meeting for our catch-up and we'll record it.
Exactly that.
And I just thought there's nothing to lose. Like, what's the worst that could happen? But saying that, like, other things will make me anxious. Do you know what I mean?
Whereas it probably wouldn't me.
Yeah.
So like what, for example?
I knew you were going to ask.
You're on the spot. Cool.
Yeah, what might make me anxious? Well, I spoke about that meeting before, didn't I? Like, yeah. I suppose it's if I'm going into a situation where I feel like, and this might not be objectively true, that like people are more intelligent than me or might know more than me. Like, say, I don't know, say I had to go into like a training and do like live role plays and stuff with people that were really experienced, like psychologists, psychiatrists. Yeah. I think it goes back to that like traditional view of like a hierarchy, like people that are objectively more successful than you. Even though that might not be the case. Do you know what I mean?
I can relate to that, yeah.
It's that innate, it's the conditioned stuff that I always talk about. Your 8-year-old self coming out.
Yeah. It's so true, right? I read something the other day, and we talk about money a lot. It reminded me of a 7-year-old. Apparently a lot of people go back to their 7-year-old self to how they perceive money, so it holds them back, so they can't make a lot of money because they're constantly penny pinching, for example, don't believe in themselves.
And again, like that 7-year-old, 8-year-old self is often cited because that's when our belief systems are really forming and solidifying in that kind of like late childhood, early adolescent phase.
So interesting.
age 7, because of the development, like the developmental phases and what happens around that age.
Yeah.
It's really pivotal in how we like view the world, other people. So whatever's going on in your life when you're 7 years old, it's going to have a really profound impact on how you operate moving forward.
Oh, I can relate to that as well. So when you said you're anxious about someone being better than you, I guess I might have felt like that on that podcast, because to me, I'm not a fitness instructor.
Right, like it wasn't your industry.
It wasn't my industry, and I thought, oh my God, what am I actually here for? But I do bring something to the table for our...
And also, like, you've been, like, working out and doing high ups for a really long time, at a competitive level. Like, I'm not saying it's professional, but...
I know.
You know, but, like, that's still... That still holds a lot of weight. It's like influencers online, and you kind of like borderline that essentially, aren't you? Like they might not like. There's a lot of people out there that aren't even PTs or like nutritionists.
Yeah.
But they're like influencers, and they'll share what they're doing and how they're preparing. People love to see that stuff. So
yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I did feel a bit. Maybe that was what the anxiety was. That God, because he was like, oh, what's your background, Francesca? And I was like, God, I'm an accountant or business owner. Yeah, I did a bit of Joe Wicks at home. And, it's just like, come on, this is cringe.
Good old Joe Wicks.
I love Joe Wicks.
He's a great person.
Davina McCall. I love doing her. Used to love doing her stuff. It's interesting, isn't it? I like to be the comeback kid. You know what film? Right, this is another thing. What films and programs did you love as a kid?
Like, what age are we talking?
Right, so like early teens. So for example then, I'm going to go off what I'm going to say. I love the likes of the Karate Kid, the strong female Tomb Raider, holding her own.
Yeah, I loved Lara Croft. That was great.
Yeah. Power Rangers, She-Ra.
Yeah, I loved all that.
All the powerful women.
When I was a bit younger, I watched cartoons like Kim Possible, and she was like a combat cartoon.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But then I liked things like, what was that film? What was it called? A Cinderella Story.
Oh my God.
Like that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I loved anything that someone was ugly and turned pretty. Never been kissed.
Yeah.
And the man saving the woman.
Yeah.
And the woman coming back from being a geek to cool.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny as well? Like, I loved all that kind of stuff, like all the stuff you'd expect. And then I loved like a documentary as well. Like it would be like I loved 24 Hours in A&E, and that made me want to be a nurse.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's my idea of
I loved that. I'd watch it all the time. But me and Roxanne, another shout out.
Yeah.
We used to watch horror films all the time.
No.
We'd watch them on my laptop eating bagels in my bedroom.
No.
When we were at school. Now,
you can watch
don't
it.
even bother asking me. George will say, that looks so good, should you watch that? I'm like,
no.
Not with me.
No, I don't watch them.
I don't watch anything. And I used to watch things like murder documentaries. No. Now, I don't watch anything like that. Because it's just not good for your brain. I just don't think it's good for you.
I'm the same.
I just think it puts you on edge, it makes you anxious. And it
I don't. People don't agree with that.
It does.
I know it does, but they don't. They're like, well, no. But then it plays on their sleep. Or play on their next day.
Maybe not for some people, but I just think it's like police officers have like a threat bias where because they work day in, day out with like criminals and threat and like the worst part of humanity essentially, they're a lot more like they'd have an overinflated sense of threat and danger. So, they'd probably have more of a sense that something bad was likely to happen because we've got a skewed view of society because that's what the part that they deal with every single day. Whereas if you're part of the general public and you've got like a normal job, if you like, you don't see all of that.
You don't see the dangers.
So you just think, there is threat out there, but actually there are a lot of good people and you just get more of a balanced view. So I feel like if you're filling your brain with like horror films, murder documentaries, you are kind of like influencing your threat perception and do you know what I mean? It's that classic, isn't it? You watch a horror film and then you go to bed and you're like,
I know.
Any noise, oh my God.
Whereas Steve, so I go up to bed about 8:30.
Yeah.
Get ready for bed, get him.
I love it.
Staring at you though, like as if we're
want an approval.
Well done.
You'll get approval if I go to bed at 6 o'clock Sundays, I'd have tucked up.
Oh, I love it. 8:30. Anyway, Steve then watches all his scary murderers, not murder mysteries, but like, I don't know, killing films and whatever else. And then I go to bed. So what I've noticed I try and get sleep for 10, and my alarm goes off at 6, right?
Yeah.
I've trialled this out for the last 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And my sleep's so much better.
Yeah.
So weird, right?
If you're consistent with the time you go to bed and wake up, regardless of the day, that's good sleep hygiene.
Yes, I had good sleep hygiene before, but not to this level. This is really real. I'm like buzzing about this.
I'm not in that era of my life.
You will get there.
Oh,
It will take time.
But
Anyway, okay. Steve, I've noticed, and he won't admit it, because I said to him this morning, look at you in your new routine. I was like, well, no. I hear him, so I'm like drifting off at 10, and then I hear him turn his phone off at 10:15 now. Right. Whereas normally you'd go
what do you
11
mean
off.
Hear him turn it off?
You know, when you just, I'm half asleep, but I know when he's turning his phone away to go to sleep himself.
Right, what, will he turn on his phone next?
Yes, so used to be.
Oh, I can't stand that.
He has his ear thing in. I can't hear anything. I can't hear. He's brilliant like that. Yeah. So he does that for about an hour to an hour and a half sometimes. So 11:15.
Yeah.
Anyway, I told him about my new sleep thing about a week ago, and it's amazing, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this week, about 10:15, I can hear him turn everything down, and he's getting up at like 6:15 stirring.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're in a new sleep thing this morning in front of Cole, his son. And he was like, well, no, I'm just kind of, won't admit it, but I think, he's might be following suit here. And he's never a morning person.
Really?
Oh, he's changed since being remote.
Yeah, that's so funny. It's another one of those things where you try to tell him what to do.
I do.
Or you telling him, you've done it, and he's like,
shut up.
Go away.
I know, I annoy him.
It's funny.
You know what our funny thing is, before we go on to our Dear Diaries?
Dear Diary.
I know. I can't help this, I don't know why I do it, but sometimes I'll just go, Steve, and he'll go, yeah, and then I say nothing. Because I just need to hear him say, just don't know. It's really odd.
Yeah.
I just find myself needing to go, Steve, and he'll go, yeah. And then I go silent. And he just knows I'm calling his name, right? Listen to this. Apparently I did it in the night. I'd never speak in the night, okay?
How would you know?
I know, I wouldn't. But I woke him up, obviously. So apparently I went, like, Steve, like really a bit scared.
Yeah.
And he just like heard me roll his eyes. Bloody hell, now she's doing it in the night. How is that? It's
a comfort thing, isn't it? It's like a soothing, like reassurance thing.
It is, because even though I am like strong in a lot of ways, I have a little bit of me that needs a little bit of nurture.
Oh yeah.
Or a little bit of comfort.
We all do. Everyone does. I think, like even men. Imagine. And I think if you say you don't, it's a lie, because it's human nature.
Yeah, I think Steve is very strong-willed.
Yeah.
Showing bravery or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting.
Yeah.
What's it like with you and George now? Everything all good?
Yeah.
With his business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, generated drama yesterday.
Oh no. There's always dramas in business, isn't there?
Yeah, well it's like the venue was like, yeah, we've got a 32 amp plug-in. George is like, brilliant, won't bring the generator.
Oh shush. Got all the way there.
It didn't. It was 16 amps, so it didn't fit. And yesterday there was an accident on the A1, wasn't there, that closed it. Yes. So it was right in the midst of all that. He had to come back to get his generator. He was in Middlebeck.
That's all it took him ages.
Yeah, it took him the best part of an hour to get back to ours and back to...
Oh no.
And then I had to follow him, get some petrol.
So I've had a lot of chats with businesses, and even one business, I'm really encouraging them to give up their full-time jobs to go it alone, which I believe in them. But you know, when something like that goes wrong in your business and you do question, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And I just think you've got to be that resilient and keep going, because you really believe in it. Obviously, he believes in it.
Yeah.
Because you do, don't you? Or something goes wrong.
I think as well, like, you stress at the time. I think at the time he thinks this is absolutely horrific and it's not worth it. Because he's worrying about like letting people down, even though he didn't just message the first orders and was like running a bit late for next issues, it was fine. And then as soon as he's like set up, he calms down, and then obviously a bit like you, at the end of it all, he's like all chirpy.
Yeah. Oh, we did
that
it.
went well, and I'm like,
did it?
That was hell.
Yeah.
That was absolute hell.
For you.
Yeah.
Because you'll take on his stress, won't you?
Absolutely.
Try and calm him down, but
overall it's going really, really well.
Good. Right.
The diaries.
If anyone's watching, this took me ages to find it. It took me an hour in the garage. Garage. Yeah. See, I had to get Steve. Bless him, he does help me, Steve. Please help me in the garage, pull all the boxes down from the top. So he did.
Oh my God.
And my eyes welled up when I found it because I thought I'd lost it. I know there's all sorts going on in here. So I know people aren't necessarily watching, but I am holding up his cannula.
That's made me well up already. That's so sad, isn't it?
Yeah. So this was like in his chest.
Why do we keep these things? Do you?
I don't know why I did. In fact, I kept a lot of things, even a parking thing that I could park at the city at Queen's Hospital.
Yeah.
Even the book that I read to Luke to explain. So Luke was 6 when he got cancer. Tom has Tom has lymphoma, but this is how I explained it to him. I know. Wait till you. I know. I don't think people would realise how it affected me because I was on a mission to just get him better and crack on as normal.
You do, don't you? You go into like survival mode.
Yeah, I hid it really well. That's my way of dealing with it though, so that's not a problem.
Bloody hell, I don't want to get my diary.
Hi, Jules. Why did you do yours? No, it's not. No. So.
Oh, and it's got all your numbers in there that you needed.
Your numbers: E39 ward, daycare, blood count. Red blood cell. Oh yeah. So I don't know. Can't remember what made me write in this.
Well, it looks like it started as like a practical thing. You needed somewhere to store all the information.
Yeah, but
like logistically.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like phone numbers and because there's a lot to bloody remember, isn't there? And learn.
Oh my God, we were there every week for something, a scan of this, waiting for the results. Results. As in to get the results, or
no, just like
the process. I think it took 3 months to diagnose him, so that was like January 2016, all the way through to going to the doctors, this, that, the other. So maybe it was May.
Yeah.
Because he went away with his nan on a lifetime holiday to Florida. She took her grandkids. So she got a pension or something out, took them away, which was wonderful. But I noticed the lumps before they went away. And the doctor said, look, while he's going on his holiday, let's look at it when he gets back. So that was April, blah, blah, blah. So it was May 2016, all done and dusted by October 2016. I say done and dusted. Obviously, he was in remission and had to have the checks and this, that, the other.
Wow.
So actually...
Is that common, to have such a quick... Because
this one's the fastest growing, if I remember, but the best to cure.
Yeah, like easily treatable.
Yes, and it had spread, so he was like at stage 2 maybe, but still early stage, and he didn't have any symptoms like sweating, lost appetite, all those things. That's why it was hard for him to diagnose it. Yeah, because he was so well in himself. Yeah, and bloods can't give anything away. Really? Yeah. Oh my God. And they took bloods. Yeah. I remember them doing that and I was like, oh no, the bloods are fine. So I'm just going to pull some bits out, but I started 3rd of May 2016 and the last time I wrote in this, was the 13th of October. Yeah. So I did keep it up to a degree. Yeah. So I wrote little selfies. Oh God.
I know. Why have we done this?
I think it's great to have, obviously, we know writing your thoughts and feelings down. Yeah, it is helpful. It's so helpful, and if you've got a chaotic brain like I have, and probably yourself, please write stuff down before bed. I've been known to do this through my difficult periods. I did it last year.
Just try and offload.
Offload it, even if you're saying it to somebody. Write it down. Write even the cringe, even if exactly how you feel. Yeah, write it down to yourself. No one has to see it. You can treat it after if you want to, but...
I always notice this when I'm talking to clients about journaling and stuff, and even writing anything down. We're worried about writing things down in case someone sees it. Yeah. And it's even more reason to get it written down because it's getting it out of your brain, like you say. Yeah. And there's a vulnerability in that, in putting it into, like, a physical form.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, it is like, if someone found this, nowadays, this is nearly 10 years old. That's mad. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. If someone found it now, I think I'd be all right with it. But back then, I think I'd have been like,
yeah, because you were living it, like, it's your vulnerable. And like you say, you were portraying to the outside world that, like, right, I'm strong, I'm getting on. Yeah. And that's obviously helped you to do that, like getting it all into a journal.
Exactly that.
So yeah, so then for someone to find it, I think then the fear is like, they're going to ask us questions. are you okay? I didn't realise you felt like that. It's like, because I don't want you to know right now.
I know, it's so true. And I remember after hearing what he's got and this, that, and the other, I remember thinking, document it, because you might be able to share and help somebody else one day.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking that at that time as well. And social media was about, and it was just Facebook for me.
I remember that.
Yeah, it wasn't all of it. So, and I mentioned that in here, I'll explain. I don't know if I should share it. Right, so, because I had a look at the front.
Yeah.
And I thought, bloody hell, okay. So, 3rd of May, I'm just going to give you a little bit, and it was brief, but I wrote something like, going to the Queen's Medical Centre to see the surgeon regarding lumps in his neck. So we had a chest x-ray, then this was the start of bad news. God!
Honestly. We're both crying across this episode.
So the consultant informs us that she's more than sure Luca has Hodgkin's lymphoma, judging by the x-ray. So I had a massive cry, but I feel I have to stay strong for Luca, because Luca has no clue. Oh! So then there was one on the 5th of May, and then we had to go, and a bit of this where Luca coped really well with his first operation and he didn't even cry.
How old was he at this point?
6.
Oh,
I know.
That is hard.
I know. 12th of May 2016. There's other things on here, but I'm just going to read this out. And this is sharing. So I had Luca's dad, obviously we weren't together at the time. And we didn't really get on. Let's be honest. So I had another cry. But these cries were always to myself, by the way.
Yeah.
News of Luca's disease got put on Facebook by Luca's dad and Nan.
Oh my God.
I was mortified that the whole of the friends around Newark knew before Luca, and Paula started being really difficult and unsupportive and very negative. And I wrote that.
Yeah.
It's hard because I don't know who's listening to this and this, that, the other, but at the end of the day, people deal with things differently. I know that.
Yeah.
But I remember being crushed by the one person I thought would just like be warm, but that's just not his character anyway. So it's like, bloody hell, what was I even thinking?
Again, it's that expectation, the hope that somebody else is gonna behave appropriately because of the sensitivity of a situation.
Yeah.
I think as well, like if you're putting things into the public domain, no matter through what means, like you need to have a conversation like with both parents. It's not just I'm doing it. Like,
exactly.
It's not on, is it?
It wasn't, and because I communicate everything.
As well, like that's really private and confidential information.
Yeah.
Like somebody's medical history and your 6-year-old son as well.
Yeah, no, it was really difficult. I didn't know, and I get he should do what he needs to do. I don't mind that.
But a conversation, a bit of transparency, so it didn't take you off guard.
But I'll never forget it because I would have shared it. You know what I'm like. I'm a big sharer. I'm not saying that. At the time I wasn't like I am now. Bear that in mind. But I definitely would have shared, and it took me a bit of time. But like you say, have that conversation. On the 19th of May 2016, part of this, I'm not going to read it all, but I put Luca coped so well with every procedure. I haven't had the chat with him yet, but feel as though I will do bits stage by stage. School have been informed.
Right.
So it's just like staging. He was at stage 2, disease A.
Right.
Whatever that means now, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Then we did temperatures. I remember him refusing some of his anti-sickness. It was really good to write stuff down. Luca woke up fine, all meds taken, smiley face. I even wrote, if Luca does ever listen to this one day, which I'm sure he won't, times 2 poos and they were hard. You've got even, I even wrote normal poo. On myself
He'd be mortified.
I know. Sorry, Luca, you listen to this. Poo fine.
Brilliant.
So, when my younger sister got married, 28th of October 2016.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so let's go to the end.
Yeah.
God. I even put when he was being dropped off at his dad's. There will probably be more stuff that went on.
Was it you that took him to all the appointments?
No, Paul did help and share that. But I can tell he leaned on me for the nurturing of Luca. That side of things, I was the main.
Of course.
But Luca still went to school, I went to work, and we worked around it. And I think Luca thrived on positivity and normality.
Normality, yeah.
So So the last time I wrote it was Thursday the 13th of October. So what I did was raise money for Queen's Medical Centre. So I ran my first MIP social event. That's when I raised £500, maybe even £700, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I remember it was a lot of cash then, because obviously it was cash. And I filmed Luca on Facebook Live walking in to give them the money.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, and I thought,
if we can find the clip,
I wonder if we can,
and just put it into the YouTube, that'd be amazing.
I don't know. I won't have the original.
No.
How do I find it on Facebook? It will be on there as a live, but how cool would that be?
It will have done, won't it? Because you can watch it.
Yeah. I don't know how to find it, because obviously it was...
I don't even know how to find your friend on Facebook. We need to do a deep dive.
Deep dive. Imagine looking back at my store. First, I videoed Luca taking the cash from my networking event and check from the school. So the school did a raising day as well. I was so proud and very happy we could give something back. And then consultant confirmed that the CT scan was all okay, big capitals all clear, nightmare is nearly over. I begged the consultant to book Luca's to take his line out, ready for Chintz's wedding, 28th October 2016.
Yeah.
Luca, bless him, on the wedding day, his hair was slightly coming back, but he was still quite chubby looking from the steroids.
Yeah.
Literally 2-3 weeks after the wedding, he dropped the weight, his hair was coming back. And you just think, that memory of looking at the wedding photos.
Yeah, I think as well, like it highlights, doesn't it, like the school fundraising, you doing the MIP social, like through hard times, you see like the good in people as well, don't you? Like lots of people do really nice things, and there is support there if you're ready to accept it.
Yeah.
So through hard things, sometimes you can see like really good intentions. And
I don't know why. I know that would be on nobody else's mind, but you know what? I just had this strong desire to do something.
I think some people are like that, and it's channeling something really negative and trying to attach some kind of positive meaning to it, isn't it? Trying to make something good of something really challenging. Yeah. And I think it's a common thing. That's where charities are born out of, really, isn't it? And
finding the right people to have that desire through experiences to support them, I suppose.
And it's a really big driver and motivator, isn't it?
Yeah.
To do things.
It's so true. And I think anyone listening in that goes through a hard time, and that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be as big as cancer or an illness or...
Yeah, it can be postpartum. That's what my diet's about.
Yeah, and I like that, because that's tough.
It is tough. Yeah, it is tough.
Come on then.
Right, let's have a look.
Dear diary.
So this is the diary that Fran got me. I'll hold it up.
Yeah.
It's a Sweet Dreams journal. Fran bought me it off the back of concern for my mental health.
What can I do for help?
Yeah. And this is one of those journals that we all know nowadays that's got prompts in it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Hallie was born on the 7th of March, and the first time I wrote it was the 30th.
Okay, so quite soon after still.
Quite soon, yeah. And I think it was
3 weeks.
It was a couple of weeks in that I'd seen you, and then you sent this off quite early on.
Yeah.
So the prompts are wonderful things that happen today, tomorrow I look forward to, something I'm letting go of, something that made my day, and then any thoughts.
Okay.
So obviously, we're about 3 weeks on here, and I would say, like, if I'd been capable of writing a diary in the first 2 weeks, it'd have just been like terrible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think
hate it. What have I done?
Yeah, and I think like there is that like, oh my God, have I made a huge mistake?
Yeah, of course.
Because it's such a life-changing adjustment.
So true.
I'd had an emergency C-section. I would have been having morphine withdrawal as well, coming home without.
Right.
And they don't tell you that.
They don't give anything away, really.
They don't prepare you for that. I think I mentioned this before, like, I was on like morphine and all the drugs in hospital for the pain, and I got to a point where I was like, oh, feeling a bit better, manage the stairs and this and that. And then I got home, we live in like a townhouse, 2 flights of stairs. Obviously didn't have morphine, like they were just, like, take paracetamol.
Yeah.
And I thought I was dying.
Really?
Well, yeah, because I was like, why do I feel so much worse, like, than I did when I was in hospital? I was like, something's wrong. Something's really wrong.
Didn't feel right.
Yeah, it was terrible. And obviously, like, they don't tell you either, like, oh, obviously not going home with morphine, so
Just
you're in
be
more
aware.
pain, and you might be having some strange symptoms coming off that from having that 3 times a day to 0. Like,
God, yeah, that's so obvious now when you think about
I
it.
know.
Why would they not just?
I don't know.
Yeah, because codeine can do that, let alone morphine.
Yeah, so like, what the fuck? Anyway.
Yeah.
So we're at the 30th year, and you can see from this entry, so wonderful things that happened today.
Yeah.
I put Chloe visited us, that's one of my cousins.
Yeah.
Hallie's second bath.
Yeah.
Walked Bear, that's the dog.
Yeah.
And again, like, that was an achievement. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm obviously like 3 weeks post C-section as well.
At least you didn't say brush teeth. Wash hair.
I know. Tomorrow I look forward to a walk with Hallie, George finishing work earlier, continuing to feel more confident.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Something I'm letting go of, high expectations of myself.
Yeah.
Something that made my day, lots of cuddles with Hallie.
Yeah.
Thoughts, things are getting easier each day as I become more confident doing things with Hallie.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely a confidence thing as well, being a mum for the first time.
But then the next day, so letting go of perfectionism.
Yeah.
But then the thoughts here were like recognising more that I feel guilty asking for things or accepting help. Feel the need to do them myself, even though I would encourage George to, for example, go for a nap. Like, he was always saying, like, go for a nap, because obviously we're absolutely shattered. But I'd feel guilty. I'd be like, I don't know, I feel bad. I feel bad going for a nap. I should be helping.
I can relate to that, yeah.
Yeah.
Naturally, when the baby sleeps, I'll be like, no, are we doing everything? I didn't ever do that. I get it.
Yeah.
And it's nice that you've had somebody saying that.
Yeah, definitely. George was like really encouraging throughout it all. Then the last entry was in May.
Bloody ages away.
I know.
I need to refresh it then.
Yeah. Try it again.
A year later.
Yeah, a year later, things are 10 times different, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I'd still been off work at this point as well. Wonderful things that happened today. Walk with mums at Stapleford. Oh, we had a Meet Hallie party. George's mum organised for her side of the family.
Oh, nice.
All the women came over to meet Hallie.
Yeah, lovely.
Hallie did well with all the family. Tomorrow I look forward to a quiet day pottering. Mummy and Hallie time. A walk together.
Yeah.
Still trying to let go of perfectionism.
Yeah.
That's something that made my day family time. But it was a lovely day for the Meet Hallie party. Nice to have a day of connecting with others.
Right, that's what we're going to talk about next week. Perfectionism. Because I've had to let go of that a lot, and I'll explain.
It's really hard, and I think perfectionism goes hand in hand with anxiety. It's a control mechanism. And I work with it a lot.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot we can say, and I can go off my actual realities. We'll say yours,
yeah.
And then bring in some techniques, because perfectionism will hold you back in business.
It's actually crippling at times, perfectionism.
Yes.
And it's on a spectrum. You can get clinical perfectionism.
Oh, wow.
And then obviously, you've got mild to severe, essentially, haven't you?
Yeah, I find that topic interesting, because I think we may have touched upon imposter syndrome, but that would be a good one for a good half an hour session on it.
It will be. I think perfectionism plagues a lot of the population. Yeah. In different ways, and I think it might impact men and women slightly differently, but especially in the age of like social media and like perfecting the aesthetic of not only your appearance, your home, like.
Oh my God, I'll tell you. Yeah, let me just give you a brief what Steve did. Here we go again with Steve. We did some content in the gym and filming my lower body session, to share the journey of going to pro. Anyway, got on the squat rack, which is in the corner of the gym next to a fire exit. Yeah. Fine. Started filming, went, go on to the next one. Is that why? I'm staying here. We'll set up on the next one. Is that why? Oh no, because it's just got the fire exit in the background. I went, so? Who cares? No one's watching about the fire. Well, I want my gym to look like good on the camera. And he said, he called it once because I've got, standards of, want it to look right. But I was like, no, doesn't matter. Let's just do one way. It might not look. Yeah. And then I thought, afterwards, we didn't speak about it, and I forgot that happened. But afterwards I thought, have I done wrong there? Because it should look amazing on camera. No, I don't think so. But I actually had a word. I thought, bloody hell, bless him though. And there's me trying to say, you know.
Oh, sorry that there's a fire exit in the gym that's a legal requirement.
I know. But it was like a couple of walls we're looking at.
It's wanting that like polished, finished look, isn't it?
And showing off his gym.
Yeah, which is fine.
It's fine, but he's not going to get him a client just from my bloody.
No, you never know. But
you
also,
never know.
Like you said, the fact that there's a fire exit in the background also isn't going to put anyone off.
It's not, and the same with this room, in what we're in now, it isn't perfect. I remember doing a video and there's wires hanging out, or this, that, and the other. People don't care as much as you think. There will always be that one person that goes, oh Lord, they could have tidied up that plant a bit, or this. But I still think go for it. But then we'll lead into that. But imposter syndrome, I think, is a fabulous thing. And I'll explain that, my theory on that. I don't think we should shy away from it.
We shouldn't shy away from it. I think acknowledging it.
Yeah.
And
leaning in.
Yeah, leaning into it and knowing that like you're not an imposter.
Yeah.
Because that much is true, but it does.
It's a horrible feeling though in a way.
It's horrible, but yeah, it can humble you a bit.
It can humble you, and I think we should all be humble.
It can humble you, and it can make you receptive to learning.
Yeah, that's why you should have it.
But I don't think it's a prerequisite of being open to learning. You can be confident and open to learn from others. Prerequisite.
Yeah. Ooh. I'm looking forward to these. So yes, next week we're going to talk about perfectionism. Please remember this. I'm going to put it in our diaries. And imposter syndrome. And as always, thanks for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed listening to our vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
It's good to be vulnerable, but it's obviously tough and it's all character building.
Yeah, and we're all human. We all go through things that are outside our control.
Yeah. And if you want to share any of your backstories, please feel free to reach out. And if you've got any thoughts or feelings that's not helping your business life, let us know and we can help you with them.
And please review.
Yeah, review.
Our podcast.